The Old Man and the Wooden Bowl. Once, in a small village, there lived an old man named Thomas. He was more than 80 years old. His hair was white, his hands were thin and shaking, and his eyes were tired. But in his heart, Thomas was still kind and gentle. He had worked hard all his life as a farmer to take care of his family. Now he lived with his only son, Peter, Peter's wife, Anna, and their little boy, Sam. The family was not rich, but they had enough food to eat and a small, warm house. In the past, when Thomas was strong, he built that house with his own hands. He also helped Peter study, find work, and start a new life. When Peter was young, he always said, "Father, I will never forget your love. One day, I will take care of you." But time changes many things. As years passed, Thomas became weaker. His hands started to shake, his legs hurt, and his eyes could not see very well. He could not work in the garden anymore. He walked slowly and sometimes forgot small things. At first, Peter and Anna tried to be patient. But soon, they began to lose their kindness. When Thomas dropped a spoon, Anna frowned. When he spoke too slowly, Peter sighed loudly. During meals, Thomas sat with the family at the table. But because his hands trembled, he sometimes spilled soup or rice on the table. The food fell on the floor, and the sound of the spoon made Anna angry. "Father, please, be careful," she shouted. "You're making a mess again," Peter said. Thomas looked down, his eyes filled with shame. He whispered softly, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to." Little Sam, their son, watched everything. He loved his grandfather, but he was too young to understand why his parents were angry. As days went by, the family dinners became quieter. No one laughed anymore. Thomas ate slowly, afraid to make a sound. When he dropped food, Peter hit the table with his hand. Anna started serving him smaller portions so he wouldn't spill so much. Sometimes Thomas didn't eat at all. He looked out of the window and thought about his wife, who had passed away many years ago. He missed her gentle voice, her smile, and the days when the house was full of warmth. One evening, while the family was eating, Thomas's spoon slipped from his hand again. The bowl of soup fell and broke into pieces. Hot soup splashed on the floor. Anna jumped up and shouted, "This is too much! I can't take it anymore!" Peter looked at his father. He was angry, but also tired. He didn't say a word. The old man's hands were shaking, and his eyes were full of tears. He tried to clean the floor, but Anna stopped him. "No, Father. From now on, you will eat alone," she said coldly. Thomas froze. He looked at her face, then at his son. But Peter did not look back. That night, Thomas sat in his small corner of the house, holding his empty hands. The sound of laughter from the other room slowly faded, leaving him in silence. From that night, the old man Thomas no longer ate with his family. Peter and Anna put a small table in the corner of the kitchen. They gave him a wooden bowl and an old spoon so he could not break anything again. Every day, Thomas sat alone while Peter, Anna, and little Sam ate at the big table. The smell of warm food filled the room, but Thomas only heard the quiet sound of his own spoon. Sometimes he looked at his son and wanted to talk, but Peter never looked back. Anna often said, "It's better this way. He won't make a mess anymore." Thomas said nothing. He just smiled sadly and whispered, "Yes, it's better this way." But in his heart, he felt very lonely. He remembered the days when Peter was small, when they used to eat together, laugh together, and share stories by the fire. Now, there was only silence. Little Sam, their 6-year-old boy, watched everything. He loved his grandfather and didn't understand why he had to eat alone. When he tried to bring his grandfather an apple or a piece of bread, his mother said, "No, Sam, go back to your seat. Grandpa is fine." One afternoon, while Anna was cleaning the kitchen, she saw Sam sitting on the floor with some small pieces of wood. He was cutting them carefully with a small knife. Anna smiled and asked, "What are you doing, my dear?" Sam looked up with his bright eyes and said, "I'm making a wooden bowl, Mama." Anna laughed a little. "A wooden bowl? What for?" The boy answered simply, "For you and Daddy. When you get old, I'll give you this bowl so you can eat from it, just like Grandpa." Anna stopped smiling. The knife fell from her hand. Her face turned pale. For a moment, she couldn't speak. Peter walked into the room just in time to hear those words. He looked at his son, then at his father, sitting quietly in the corner, holding his wooden bowl. The house became very still. Only the sound of the clock ticked in the background. Peter's eyes filled with tears. He walked slowly to his father and knelt down. "Father, I'm sorry," he whispered. "Please forgive me." Anna began to cry too. She came closer and took the old man's hand. "Father, we were wrong. You don't have to eat alone anymore." Thomas looked at them with surprise. Then a gentle smile came to his face, the first real smile in many months. That evening, for the first time in a long while, the family sat together again at the same table. The food tasted warmer, the room felt brighter, and laughter slowly returned to the house. The wooden bowl stayed on the shelf above the fireplace, a quiet reminder of love, respect, and how a child's pure heart can teach the greatest lesson of all. Moral of the story? As you treat your parents, your children will treat you. Love and respect for the elderly bring peace to every home.